Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another podcast. On this episode, Joey and Freddy Negrete are going to chop it up. We're only months away, a couple months away from INKCON, the Trusted Tattoo Gathering. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, stay tuned, and enjoy.
But here's the thing. It generated 10 questions, right? And we took 3. You know what I mean? And then we asked another question, and then we took 2. So it's like, I think that's, again, the value of it.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like, oh, you do everything the motherfucker says. It's going to give you all this shit that it's gathering up, and then you get to fucking pick and choose what you need. Incorporate images of Mexican-American culture and iconography. Born in Los Angeles in 1958, Freddy began tattooing at the age of 11 and quickly gained a reputation as one of the most talented tattoo artists in the city. In 1970s, he began working at Good Time Charlie's Tattoo Land, one of the most famous tattoo studios in the world, where he honed his craft and developed his signature style. Negrete's work has been featured in numerous galleries, museums, including the Museum of Contemporary Art in Los Angeles, Smithsonian National Museum of American History, the Museum of Latin American Art. He is also subject of a documentary film, Tattoo Nation, which chronicles the history of Chicano tattooing and his role in shaping the industry.
Oh,
Fucking incredible. It's still going. It's still going. That's the
What else
first
does it
paragraph.
say?
Writing the whole biography?
It's going. It's writing a book. In addition to his tattoo work, Negrete is an advocate for prisoner reform and has worked to provide tattoo removal services to formerly incarcerated individuals. He continues to inspire, mentor young tattoo artists around the world, and his legacy as a pioneer of Chicano tattooing is widely recognized and celebrated. Chat GPT.
Yeah, but it might have took my Facebook birth year and my Instagram birth year and combined them together to come up with, okay, maybe 1958.
Let's round it up.
It rounded down, actually.
It rounded down. Oh, wow.
Years ago, I lied about my age on my Facebook. Can we change that? Somebody
But do
sent
you
me a
see
message
that?
going, okay, 1969.
But that's the thing. Just that little bit, what has it done already? It already generated something. Oh, well, my birth year, blah, blah. It already made you think, oh, should I change it on my Facebook? That's the power of this shit.
Yeah, you know what else is really weird? Okay, so it said where I talk about prison reform.
Mhm.
That's stuff that I've only talked to my professor friend because him and I are going to do a
You recording?
YouTube
Good.
a YouTube thing for my friend that's in prison right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we're always talking about prison reform. I wonder if
Guaranteed.
he somehow knows about my conversations about it, or I don't know. But I have gone to and spoke at his class.
That's probably what it is. Probably from like, this is really good. I'm
Yeah, 'cause
keeping
the
this.
class was a prison reform class.
Wow. Yeah, I'm keeping that, bro. I have to keep that. Okay, so the next question would be, can you share any memorable experiences or challenges that you faced through your career as a tattoo artist?
You know, challenges was my struggle with alcoholism and
Mhm.
drugs. You know, because you know tattooing was was always this underworld type thing. You
Yeah.
know, and we would make cash money, and you know, it was very easy, and it seemed to be like this party thing. You know, like we were underworld. We were, you know, like the dark image, you know, of professionalism.
Absolutely.
So it was easy to get tied up into some kind of drug addiction. And a lot of guys back in the day went down from heroin addiction
Mhm.
or speed or those things. So I was always struggling with that. I can say that, you know, it's been 15 years now, you know, that I've been clean and sober, but I've gotten clean and sober a few times, you know, but this time it's really for good. So,
Working out. Good.
so you know, becoming a better person and, you know, staying a tattoo artist in kind of the dark imagery and underworld atmosphere of tattooing, you know, but being able to stay professional and be a man that makes good choices and does the
Absolutely.
right thing, which is very difficult in this world we live in today.
Amen. Yes, sir, it is.
So That's one of the challenges. The other challenge is to always stay on yourself to be better. You know what I mean? Like to become a better artist.
Mhm.
You know, like I feel sorry for artists that, you know, feel like they've arrived, you know, or like all they can talk about is the great things they do in art or how good their art is, you know. And I feel bad for them because for a person like that, there's no room for growth.
Yeah.
You know, here I am, you know, in my 60s, and I still feel like I haven't arrived at my full potential.
Wow.
And I had to push myself. And
Yeah.
I want to get better. And, you know, I'm looking for those things in my work that I could do different, you know, even little things sometimes that we rush, you know, it's a difficult, you know, uh, art application, you know, like if you're drawing on paper, you can put it away and come back to it and say, oh yeah, this is a better thing here, you know, or you know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
when you're
yeah.
working on somebody's skin and it hurts and it bleeds and you have to go from start to finish, you know, it's a greater challenge. You know,
100%.
and so anyways, back to what I'm saying really is that you got to push yourself to be better. And that's the challenge. And always acknowledge that you haven't fully arrived yet. You know, be humble. Look at other people's work and respect it. And don't judge it. Don't feel like you're better or any, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
humble yourself and look at the good parts of other people's work and what can you learn from that? You know,
Yes.
what can inspire you to be a better artist?
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that's another great answer. Let's see. So this is an interesting one. The impact of social media on the tattoo industry, including the rise of the influencer tattoo artists and the use of Instagram as a portfolio platform. How do you feel that's influenced the industry?
You know, social media is amazing, you know, so, you know, I look back in my Tattoo Mania days. So that would be, you know, early 90s, you know, late 80s, you know, that time. But I was, you know, I was doing a lot, you know, I was tattooing all these rappers and, you know, movie stars, working on Sunset Strip there at Tattoo Mania, you know, with Mark Mahoney and Gil Monty and stuff. But I was also doing movies, you know, and I was at a point where, you know, I worked with one of the chair people on the union, the AI union, which does all the makeup and everything, which tattooing fell under, you know, and I was the only tattoo artist that could actually go on a set of a movie to be a working TA.
Oh, wow.
That's a technical advisor that is allowed by the union to actually work on the movie set.
Wow.
You know, and so I had that locked up. Of course, back then they weren't using tattoos much.
Yeah.
You know, like the first big production we did was Blood In, Blood Out. And before that, my partner, Freddy Blau, he's the one that invented the first temporary tattoo style for movies. His movie, The Illustrated Man. And that was a movie about some guy that had these tattoos that came to life, you know, and became these stories. And a movie called Tattoo with Bruce Dern and Maude Adams, where he was a crazed tattoo artist that kidnapped her, tattooed her whole body. And ironically, at the end, she kills him with the tattoo machine. But anyways, you know.
Poetic justice.
So those were the very first movies that included tattoos in their story. And anyways, so all of a sudden it just blew up. Everybody wanted tattoos.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was partners with Freddy Blau. And, you know, I went on to work on like 30 some features. So back then in the early 90s, if you saw tattoos in a movie like Con Air, or Blade, you know, countless movies, then I did them, you know.
Sick.
So nobody knows that, you know, because we didn't have social media back then.
Yeah. Did you get film credit though in the
Oh, yeah.
in the reel? That's awesome, man.
Yeah, you know, but I mean, I think back, you know, because now you're able to really document, what you do,
Absolutely.
how your work looks, and what you're doing in the industry, or how you're, doing cross industries, like, for instance, media stuff, and, you know, um, and, and you get a huge audience of people that want to see what it is you're doing,
Totally.
and so it's an amazing thing. I mean, it's a far cry from, like trying to get people to look at your photo album. It's just like, here's my work. You want to see, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
uh,
Now it's almost like you have to have. If you don't have social media, it's almost like you're missing out.
We don't even, we used to have our photo albums, on the counter at the shop, and we don't even do that. People come in and say, "Can we see your work?" Yeah, go to Instagram.
Check out the IG.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, and it almost seems like, apps like Instagram were almost created for tattooing.
Really does. Yeah.
Because that seems to be one of the things that became so popular. And it's a little bit annoying sometimes, because when people come in and say, "I want this," and it's somebody else's tattoo,
Yeah. True.
and then you're like, "Oh, well, I got to change it a little bit," and then you change something and they're like, "Oh, that's my favorite part,"
Yeah, I've had that happen for sure. Yeah.
But, so, it's really made, our industry, much more interesting to have social media.
For sure. I can 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. And I mean, this has a little bit more to do with that, the role of technology in the tattoo industry, from machine advancement to digital design tools. I mean, you did hit on that a little bit with the Bishop, but for instance, like the iPad. I mean, I know you use the iPad.
Yes.
How do you think that's affected the industry?
It's made it so much easier, of course. I mean, back in the day when me and Jack were working, when it was just me, him, and Kate at Tattoo Land in East LA, it's just, we didn't have a copy machine or anything. And, we were doing portraits and all this stuff, but
Wow.
we had to freehand everything.
Yeah.
So, and even freehand artists today, I know a lot of people like to freehand still, and it's always interesting to see them, watch them do that. But, the first whole couple hours or an hour of a tattoo was drawing it on with a pen,
Wow. Yeah.
So, I really love Procreate. I love doing my stencils on there.
Yeah.
I know even just the whole stencil thing is advancing, technology wise. I was putting a stencil on somebody the other day, and they're like, "Where does that come from?" And I go, "You know what? Let me tell you a story. This comes from prison. All the good stuff comes from prison."
Right. Ingenuity.
But prison ingenuity is amazing. But that paper, the stencil paper, was actually called ditto paper. And before there was any copy machines, like at schools or businesses, they had to run ditto copies. And what a ditto copy was, when you would put that stencil paper through the thermofax, like you type something up, put it through the thermofax, get that sheet of paper, put it on a cylinder, and there'd be like fluid in the bottom, and there would be a tray that would feed paper, and you'd go
Crank it like a print press.
Yeah, and you'd make copies.
Wow.
And all the school, PTA, all that stuff that you take home and give to your parents,
They all had
would be in purple,
Oh, really? It was in
Yeah,
purple. Get the
So-
fuck out of here.
And then when copy machines came out, of course, the bigger budget you had, the more you could spend on a copy machine,
Yeah.
which the first ones were like take up a whole side of
Massive. Yeah.
side of a room,
Yeah.
And so, of course, the last place to get copy machines is going to be prison. They're not going to spend money on a copy machine.
Heck no.
And so prison was still using those ditto masters. And we discovered that paper made great tattoo stencils and patterns that you could reuse.
Yeah.
So you'd have these guys and the tattoo guys in prison and be like, yeah, and they bring out a big folder and inside that folder would be all these, copies, stencil copies.
Yeah.
That they would collect because you could reuse them
And just throw them
over
on.
and
Bang,
over.
bang.
And that's where the whole thing was like, hey, I deal con la pattern.
Yeah.
Like they called them patterns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they looked like you had a little folder was sewing patterns, but they were, tattoo stencils. That's why they called them patterns. So, and now they figured out that, how to make an ink out of that and run it through a copy machine.
Yeah.
And people are making these stencils, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, and those look amazing. They look like the tattoo, like a perfectly printed image. Like some of those purple images are incredible themselves, and then it's like an amazing guide to tattoo because it's like you're tattooing on top of the exact image.
Really and I haven't started using that yet.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect I will once they come up with a good paper to print it on.
Mm-hmm.
Because the problem, like it's good for some stencils, but the bigger the stencil you have, the more it wraps around.
Mm-hmm.
That paper doesn't work good, like the paper on the stencil sheets. So when they invent some better paper, and probably somebody listening is saying, Freddy, they already have.
Yeah, it's already there. You haven't seen it. Yeah, 100%.
So, anyways,
and
with the machines, so. Same thing with machines. I remember, of course I use coils and everything, but people would say, have you ever used a rotary? And I'd be like, come on, dude, I learned how to do this in prison. You got to use a rotary?
That's a rotary right there.
That's where rotaries came from.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, again, prison ingenuity. And now these rotary machines are coming up with now, I use the Bishop wand. And, I just love having, I use the Packer, but with the battery.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're, the critical battery on it.
Absolutely.
Just, I don't like having all those wires, and even my lights are
all battery now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ain't stepping over nothing. Or
I was tattooing the other day and all the power went off, and everybody's like, hey, all their lights and their machines weren't working and everything. And I was just like,
I'm good, dog.
Just buzzing away. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who needs power?
Absolutely. That's badass.
Anyways.
That's pretty incredible, man.
Yeah. Ingenuity is amazing. Keep it coming. Anything to make my life easier. And the end justifies the means. If I can do better tattoos with all this technology, then I'm down.
Heck yeah. Some of the tattoos that you sent me for like the INKCON page and whatnot, like they were the older tattoos like that you were done with coils. Cause remember we've been talking about INKCON for years now,
Right.
And I was tripping out on that the other day when I posted it. I was like, you know what, man, this tattoo was probably done with the coil machine. I didn't even think about it. And then I was just looking at it. I was like, this is probably done with the coil machine.
Yeah.
Not even to think of the difference between now and then. So you definitely got to send me some new stuff.
Yeah. Well, go on my Instagram and take it.
I'll just have to take it. I'll just say, go to Instagram, check it out, pull what I need.
Technology.
Absolutely.
So what's amazing is that the first time I ever used, the rotary for a full, to do a full tattoo from start to finish was right here at Trusted.
Oh,
wow. So you weren't here that day.
No, I wasn't.
And for people that don't know, my loving girlfriend, who I love very much, Deja Garcia,
amen,
works here at Trusted. She actually opened it originally.
She did.
And
the founder.
So she was telling me, hey, I want to try these rotary machines. And I talked to Franco, a dear friend of mine, and he sent me a couple machines, and she was using them and liked them. And I would always tell her, I want to try them someday. One day I'm going to try it one day. So anyways, I was doing a tattoo here, and she goes, babe, you want me to set up one of those bishops for you? And I was like, yeah, you know what? Go ahead. And bang, I just whipped out this tattoo, that, I even felt bad charging him as, it's like a 3-hour tattoo that I got done in like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah.
And that was the last time, the first time I used, a rotary, and I never went back.
Yeah.
I never went back to coils after that day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think I don't think you understand, especially if you're not a tattooer, how much time that does save, whether switching from machines or adjusting machines where you just grab that little cartridge, pop it on, pop it off, pop it on, pop it off. Pretty darn incredible. Adjusting the throw, you just turn it a little bit, whereas with the coil machine, you got to adjust the contact and everything. It is pretty incredible.
I enjoy using multiple needles for my tattoos.
Yeah.
And for every tattoo that I would do, I'd set up like 6 or 7, coil machines.
That'd be an hour already.
It takes about 10, 15 minutes per machine to set up. You know what I mean? So like that's an hour and a half right there just setting up machines.
Yeah.
So
it's a trip.
Yeah. The cartridges are
game changer.
Yeah. And then, like I used to like the metal tubes. I mean, going to conventions, and just wheeling up your thing and just and they weigh it and they say, "Woo, this is way over, sir." And
like over 70 pounds.
Now I could just take my backpack to a convention. It's
way easier.
Anyways,
yeah, I love that, man.
All right, what else?
Last question.
AI have
last question. This is the last one AI's got. Finally, can you share with us any upcoming projects or collaborations that you have in the works right now?
Okay, well, first off, I'll say my hats. My collaboration
Beautiful
with
hats.
Summit Lowrider Hats, and it's it's a style of hat I'm not wearing today, but I always wear.
You do, yeah.
The brim hats, gangster hats, and
fedora style.
Yeah,
real dope.
And so when I first saw what they were doing for Danny De La Paz, the actor, and I was in his video. Him and I are good friends, and then he set me up to talk with Summit Lowrider Hats because they actually are into cowboy hats. Like that's their big market. They sell cowboy hats, and a lot of Mexicans are into cowboy hats.
Oh yeah,
So.
We just came back from Texas. All of them had cowboy hats on.
Yeah. So that was but they wanted to get into more of the Cholo Chicano style, and that's where I come in. I just been doing my Smile Not Cry Laters, roses, some of the upcoming hats. I have Aztec hat, a revolutionary, type hat. I have Santa Muerta hat. I have some clown girls. So the artwork's all done, and those hats are going to be coming out. Dope. And each one, like for instance, the Santa Muerta hat. On the inside is a Santa Muerta that I drew up on the iPad.
Nice.
And
there you go.
and then on the bow, there's 2 like skeleton hands, animated skeleton hands, and in the middle of the bow is like a sacred heart.
Sick.
The same heart that the Santa Muerta has.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that collaboration, and it's going to be going on for a few years because I'm still doing artwork for it, so that's good. And also then next, I have some needles coming out with Bishop.
Sick.
And Bishop Rotary, some needle cartridges. So my main idea, like right now, when I get the cartridges on the Magnums, so I open up the back and get the needles out and then press them down.
Yeah, get a little
so they're a little bit tighter.
Yeah,
because I feel like I can get in tighter areas with it, and you can still shade in big areas.
Yes.
But with the needles closer together, it goes blacker faster.
Pro tip.
So soon you'll be able to get the needles.
Wow.
So they're called
come that way.
They're called press mags, and it's 5, 7s, 9s, 11s, and 13s, and they're pressed tight together.
Dope.
And then another needle, is the Super Tight 3.
Yes.
So it's pulled so tight that it's close to a single needle as you can get.
Wow.
Without it being an actual single needle. And then there used to be a couple of different needle setups that we always use. One was the 4 flat, and you could get into real tight areas and real small single needle type tattoos, and it would shade smoother than if you were using a round. You know, you can get in tighter spots.
Yeah, get that edge.
What we did with that was we came out with an 8-gauge 5 mag, which is the same size as a 4 flat, you know, width-wise.
Yeah.
And it's also pressed tight. And I've been using the samples right now. I already used them all up. It's like, what am I gonna do without them? I gotta wait.
At, Franco? Where you at? Come on, brother.
And then there's another needle setup that Ed Hardy taught me years ago, and he called him a football, and it's just basically an upside down magnum. So instead of a round tube, it's kind of a moon shaped tube, and so if you had a 5 mag, it would be 2 on the bottom and 3 on the top, going in this moon shaped tube, and with the 3 on the top, it made, you know, pushing the ink into top corners better.
Totally.
So anyways, that's the other collab
really
we
cool,
got going.
Man.
But my main thing right now is the Trusted Tattoo Gathering.
Yes, sir.
You know, and that's the big baby. We wanted, you know, and want it to be an annual thing. And you know, it's your guys' baby here at Trusted Tattoo. And like I said, I'm family here with you, but mainly, you know, Deja is my girl, and this has been a dream of hers and a dream of yours.
Yes.
And Jordan and Elvis and everybody here, the crew here at Trusted Tattoo Gathering. And I remember, you know, I was all into it. You know, we were looking to do it at Pachanga, and then everything looked good, and you know, you know, I love the idea of it being at a casino, you know, and all that. But then
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
That all came apart because of the pandemic. And so, you know, I kind of lost the vision, and then Deja's telling me, okay, we're gonna do it, and I'm like, no, you know, and then
not at the Pachanga anymore. Come on,
yeah, you know, I don't know, but
yeah,
you guys pushed. I remember you telling me, look, don't worry, just be our host, and I don't have to do anything, but I do have to do things,
and I appreciate it.
Yeah, and you know, and now I'm really into it, and I'm so happy to get my buddy, you know, Corey Miller, to co-host it with me. And I got all my friends going, you know. Everybody's excited about it.
Yes.
So, and you could watch on, you know, on my social media and on theirs. Like, I've been going out to some of the shops.
Yes.
Of, you know, mainly, you know, people that I have good relationship with and heavy hitters in the industry, you know, just to profile their shop and to show people their crew, and you know, and then also they're able to put it on their social media. Yeah, that we're out there visiting, and they're going to be attending, you know, the show. So
absolutely, and I think that's really special, man. I mean, just to have you come out. I mean, when I went to go visit Sleeps, I went right before you, and he's like, "Man, I've been trying to get him to come out. I've been trying to get him to come out," and Corey the same thing, and it's just like, you being able to do that for the show, it just makes the show that much more special. You know, it makes what we're doing here so much more special, because this is what our goal was, is to bring back that old school tattoo feel, that old school tattoo experience, but to bring it to the new school, to combine it with that old school traditional tattoo vibe with the social media and the technology, to share it with the youngsters, man, because a lot of times with the older generation, the social media is not that big, the technology is not that big, but I kind of get upset when I see like some of these younger guys saying things, doing things, and it's like, no, I want to hear from my OGs. I want to hear from the people that inspired me. And so to have you do that and to open the doors for everybody else that you're talking to and working with, man, I thank you so much. Bottom of my heart, Freddie. I mean, it's been incredible, and I think this is something that's going to be really special for the whole industry, not just us. But I hope that we could keep making this happen for you, for all of us, and
you know, I love it. I love it. I love being in this area, doing it in this area. I feel like people in the IE, you know, like they love tattoos.
Yeah.
And we're close enough for all the tattoo freaks in LA and Orange County for them to come out.
For sure.
I think it's kind of a good, that Ontario Convention Center is a good central point for not only the IE, but Los Angeles. And, you know, so, the thing is, we just got to get the word out.
That's right.
And so people come, you know.
June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th,
Yeah.
Ontario Convention Center.
Yeah.
Well, Freddie, you know, thank you, man. This has been epic. I do appreciate it. Thank you, AI, for giving me these awesome questions that I wouldn't have came up with. But we'll see you guys June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And be ready. Freddie might be coming to your shop to do a little interview, a little podcast with you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again.